With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back, once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series fire things off at the famed Brickyard. That's right, Indianapolis Motor Speedway on tap here tonight to close out the regular season here for the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. There you hear it. Well, there you see it. You don't hear it. You hear me. The road starts here, 200, because this is the race that is going to put the drivers on the map. It's going to put them in a spot to try to chase after their championship hopes and dreams here in Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series. Want to give a big shout out to all the sponsors here in the Swift Motorsports, AYERS iRacingPaints, as well as Performance Motorsports, RB Rigs, Hyperdrive Racing, Butt Kicker as well. One of the sponsors here in Swift Motorsports, so a big time shout out to each and every one of you sponsors all across all of the series that we enjoy here from Swift Motorsports. Qualifying already underway and just about already in the book. So I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and run down some of that qualifying information for you. There you see it. There you have it right there to the left-hand side of your screen. Top of the speed charts here tonight in qualifying. Quick time goes to Joshua Kanata, 52.96. Ryan Branchew right there. Jim Thorndike slotting in third, having a good qualifying run. John McMillan Jr. right there. Jason Branch, Todd McGregor, Marshall Scully, Ron Schutte, Chad Lancaster, and Donald Bennett round out your top 10 here for qualifying. As there you see it, checker flag being waved on qualifying. So as these drivers begin to get their machines through final pre-race tech inspection, we're going to take a brief commercial break, step away from the track, and come right back for all your green flag action live here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in out, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And back trackside as promised, as the field still making their way through a final tech and inspection before they hit the track here tonight for the road starts here, 200 right here from the Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And what a better way to finish out the regular season here tonight than a historic track like this. And speaking of history, let's see who's going to have their shot at making history this season, walking away with a chance to fight for the championship. Coming in to tonight's race number 10 in season number 2 here for the Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. Jason Branch leads the field. Todd McGregor, Andy Starcher, Larry Poling, and Jim Thorndike. All 5 of those drivers pretty much slotted in and have their chase spot already underneath their belt. Few drivers battling for their shot at it. John McMillan Jr. just barely inside. Greg Deitch, Ron Schutte also battling for one of those top spots inside the top 12. So going to have to keep our eye between Schutte, McMillan Sr., Scully, and Kidder out there on the track. Those are going to be the highly contested spots. Those are going to be the spots these drivers try to vie for. So we'll have to see who can get the job done here tonight. And it looks like drivers are beginning to hit the starting grid here tonight. then you can hear it in the background, that familiar sound. It's time to run down tonight's starting lineup for the road starts here. 200 for the Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series, taking the pole position here tonight. Quick time 52.95 for Joshua Kanata. Ryan Branchew gonna slot in just to his outside, inside row number 2. Here tonight, the 59 of Jim Thorndike. John McMillan Jr. gonna slot right there in that 4th position. Jason Branch and Todd McGregor make up row number 3. Marshall Scully in the 63 fighting for his championship hopes and dreams out of the Mars Racing Stable. Ken Scully get the job done. Gonna start in that 7th position. He's got another driver vying for his championship hopes and dreams as well, just to his outside, the 28 of Ron Schutte. Chad Lancaster gonna slot in that 9th starting position, while Donald Bennett, I want to say safely into those championship spots, but we'll have to wait to see how it all plays out here. If Bennett has a very bad night from that 10th starting position, we very well may see him drop out of the championship standings. There you see Shane Bliss slotted in the 11th spot. Roy Fernandez also out here. The Cuban Cowboy Missile joining us here tonight. Can't wait to see Fernandez out there on the track. 13th position here tonight goes to John McMillan Sr. Gary Wells also out here. Ryan Douglas and Larry Poling round out your 16-car field here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the road starts here. 200. Our turn 3 things to watch for the race are the drivers getting into these corners. They're going to have to be very careful. These braking systems in these AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series machines a little bit tougher to get woed down. The braking a little bit squirrely, not as bad as what we may see tomorrow night here in the Performance Motorsports Truck Series presented to you by the Swift Motorsports, but we should see these drivers get a little bit loose into the corner, and gotta watch the push out of these Arca machines. Very pushy, especially in the dirty air. Gonna have to watch wearing that right front tire out as well. You keep carrying that right front a little too much, and you could find yourself into the outside wall with a tire failure at one point in time or another here tonight, as the Chevy Silverado Pace Truck gets ready to bring the field through turn number 4. We're ready to fire things off for the first time here tonight, and the road starts here. 200. Who's going to start this thing off the right way? And Kanata at the front, putting that Supercuts machine right where he left off last week. Kanata visited victory lane, and on the gas, green flag flies for the first time here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Looks like the field getting up through the gears pretty easily. Everybody slotted in. Little 3-car scrum going on right there. There you can find Jason Branch, Todd McGregor, and Marshall Scully. And looks like we had one driver big time loose back through the rear of the field, trying to find who that was. And there you can see one driver making his way just now off of pit road. That is Chad Lancaster. Lancaster missing the start, having to start from pit road, and he is already multiple seconds behind. Watching this battle back here because John McMillan Sr., one of those drivers vying for his championship hopes. He's slotted inside the top 10, but a man that is fighting for his spot as well. Marshall Scully there, you can see right in between Todd McGregor and Ron Schutte. Schutte running well here tonight as well. Schutte needs to have a good finish as well, a couple points outside of that top 12. And it looks like your race leader, Kanata, already firing things out to a pretty decent lead. Look at that already. Already the gap upwards of 2 seconds for your race leader, your pole sitter. Can he go back to back? We'll have to wait and see if he can get that Supercut 16 to victory lane once again here tonight. Flirting with that outside wall a little bit here very early. Gonna have to keep that 16 out of that outside wall. How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network for the Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacing Paints Arca Menards Series regular season finale right here with Darkside Dave in the Cave, bringing you all the calls from the track. As always, these drivers are going to put on quite a show, and putting on a show very early here, dominating in just 3 laps already, about a 3-second gap for Kanata, so he has absolutely stepped away from the field. We'll go back to this little 2-car battle that is between Todd McGregor and John McMillan Jr. Jr. just outside of that, I believe, that top 10. And yes, indeed, John McMillan Jr. with his 2 race wins on the season. I believe it is 2 race wins. We'll double check that one. And yes, that is the correct number. John McMillan Jr. with 2 race wins on the season. Coming in a little bit late on the year, but with those solid runs so far this the time that he has been here, as well as those 2 race wins, John McMillan Jr. able to slot himself in a pretty comfortable spot for making his way into the chase here in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. We'll go back a little closer to the action here, look for some more battles on track. Right here around the 9th and 10th position, you can find Marshall Scully just off in front of John McMillan Sr. Shane Bliss just behind him, Ryan Branchew, Ryan Douglas, and Larry Poling. Want to give a big time shout out to both of the admins and officials here tonight for the Road Starts Here 200 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Big shout out to Gary Wells as well as Roy Fernandez up there in the race control room, keeping everybody straight out there on track. Drivers already beginning to stretch themselves out, beginning to have some gaps develop as we watch John McMillan Sr. still trying to make a pass on Marshall Scully, not able to get it by that 63 just yet. And Scully gets loose off of 2. That's going to give McMillan that run down the long back stretch and towards number 3. Looks like he's going to have that preferred spot and take the 8th position away as they enter turn 3. Going to have that well and clear, loose off of 3. Big time sideways slide for John McMillan Sr. Going to go up just in front of these drivers because we got a battle beginning to develop right here. Donald Bennett in that 31 machine slowly closing in on Ron Schutte. Schutte, one of those drivers on the outside, looking in, looking for a good run here tonight. And if he can make his way up inside that top 3, he very well may be able to gain some ground. One of the drivers just inside your top 10, Greg Deitch, sitting in the 11th spot here coming into tonight's race. Doesn't look like he is on the track, so he is going to lose some ground here to the drivers running. So very, very doable here tonight for both Schutte as well as Marshall Scully and even John McMillan Sr. All 3 of those drivers with a shot to gain some points and put themselves in a grand opportunity to chase after the championship here. We'll have 5 races down to the championship, but first we got to get through and decide tonight's race winner. And up at the front right now, nothing to see, nothing going on for your race leader, your pole sitter, the 16 of Joshua Kanata, getting the job done, leading all 7 laps so far that we have on the board, and he is doing so in a dominating fashion. There you can see with the time across the top of the ticker already over a 4-second gap back to this man right here who is still dealing with Jim Thorndike. This is one of your closest battles on the track, battle for the 2nd and 3rd position as we go on board now with the driver inside that 15 machine and Jim Thorndike just behind him. Tell you what, gonna take a little look back. What do you say? Look-see back just outside of that driver's net back at Jim Thorndike. Another great camera shot here tonight, provided to you by everybody back at the headquarters at Turn 3 Racing Network. Do appreciate all the hard work everybody puts in back behind the scenes to bring all these great camera shots, all these great action shots to you, the race fans, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether you're on the YouTube side of things, Facebook, Twitch, or maybe even over there on the Dark Side Facebook page, we do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in each and every time you do. If you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Darkside, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. So with that being said, go ahead and toss these drivers a thumbs up. No stage breaks here in Swift Motorsports. No stage cautions coming out to slow the field down to regroup things. Only time we will bring the field under that dreaded yellow flag condition will be if we have a condition, an incident, a problem on the track. And it looks like most of these drivers not fighting the cars as much as maybe we thought they might have. Looks like most of the drivers taking it a little bit easy. Speaking of easy Sunday drive for this man right here, your race leader, Joshua Kanata, gonna make his way back down this very long front stretch, across the yard of bricks. Begin lap number 10 out of the 80 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. Gonna jump back just a little bit and look at this battle that continues to rage on between Donald Bennett and Ron Schutte. Both of these drivers sitting just outside the top 5, running in the 6th and 7th position. There you can see just a little bit of information about Ron Schutte inside of that Chevy. Getting the job done here tonight for Swift Motorsports. The iHeartRadio 28 looking pretty good out there right now, running in that 6th spot, but just behind him, the 31 from Kutztown, PA. Getting the job done right now. Donald Bennett is sitting 7th in the points coming into tonight's race. He just needs to have yet another solid finish out of that Keystone Motorsports Turn 3 Racing Network Bromley designed draft top 31 machine, and looking to do so right now, running right where he is in the points championship in that 7th position. Another little battle going on just behind them. We'll take a look at this one as Marshall Scully getting heated up just a little bit by John McMillan Sr. McMillan Sr. hot on his trail, trying to make something happen. Just not able to do very much right now, as we'll go on board with one of the gyro cams looking straight back at John McMillan Sr. Very busy through the corner that time by. And I tell you what, let's go ahead with yet another one of our in-car camera shots here on board tonight with John McMillan Sr. And you can hear these drivers getting out of the gas. You can hear them working that throttle. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, very tough on the right front of these cars, and not just these AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series cars, but also the trucks as well as the Cup cars, the Xfinity Series. Also, once they reach Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which I believe we visited Indianapolis last week, if my memory is serving me correct. I believe we visited Indianapolis last week in the Xfinity Series, so that was another big-time race as well. There you can see now making that move to the bottom, Marshall Scully. Ryan Douglas is going to make his way by as Scully begins to scoot away just a little bit. Here comes that 13, though. Douglas looks to be a little bit faster than both of these drivers, and McMillan Sr. going the wrong way. Still this battle raging on for that 2nd position on the track. There you could see way off in the foreground, Joshua Kanata, your race leader. Sunday drive right now, 5-second advantage for Kanata over these two drivers that continue this battle for the second and third position. John McMillan Jr. runs with Jim Thorndike hot on his trail. Battle for the 7th and 8th position on track. Donald Bennett, Ryan Branchew, they mix it up just a little bit as Bennett loses a little ground to Schutte up in that 6th spot. We'll take a look back at this 3-car battle here. Big moment, big slide off of turn number 4 that time by for Thorndike. So we'll go ahead and jump back here with this battle, see how it all unfolds, and looks like it's already going away as Branchew made his way around Bennett that last time back off of turn number 3. Was able to keep the position and move away just a little bit on that 31. Still green flag racing here tonight from the Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Swift of Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series season finale. Regular season finale, I apologize. Season number 2 quickly coming to a close. These drivers battling it out here tonight for those final few spots inside the championship points to decide who will have their opportunity to raise the trophy at the end of season number 2. Just 5 races to do so once you get yourself in. That's why tonight, race fans, we're here for, Donald Bennett into the outside wall. No, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the road starts here 200, and Bennett, big time trouble, hard impact with that outside wall. We seen him hit the wall, scrape it down just a little bit, and he's going to fall into the clutches of Marshall Scully and Ryan Douglas right there, lined up nose to tail. This is going to be a 3-car battle for the last spot inside the top 5. Bennett running in 8th, Scully in 9th, and Douglas back in 10th. Scully looking to the inside. Looks like he's going to have that spot. Bennett forced to run that high side and forced to give up a little bit of ground as the drivers on the inside. They get nose to tail, utilize a little bit of draft, a little bit of push. And looks like Scully going to leave Douglas high and dry all on his own to make the pass on the inside. He looks like he'll get it off of one. Yes, indeed. No. Bennett gonna fight back on the outside, go side by side, but now falling back just a little, falling to the wayside. The 13 takes that 9th spot away, and if Bennett is not careful, he's going to have John McMillan Sr. right there looking to the inside. Big run down the backstretch for that 75. Ooh, big time wiggle off of turn number, I believe that was turn number 3. I apologize for Bennett. And Bennett is struggling right now. Big time struggle for Donald Bennett as John McMillan Sr. almost ran him over there on the corner exit of turn number 4. Big time evasive maneuver there for McMillan Sr. And he's going to lose a little bit of time after having to jump out of the gas with that big time save there. Could have ended bad for both of those drivers. This is some of the closest battles on track. We'll jump up here just in front of this. Now 2-car battle. Oh, and here comes. It looks like he's going to make that pass work. Can Douglas get around Scully? $63 at the top, 13 at the bottom, side by side through turn number 3 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now down into turn number 4. Looks like that high side going to prevail for just the time being, but a big run off of 4. And here comes Ryan Douglas. Once again, we'll jump up as Ron Schutte begins to lose some time. Lose some ground to this man right here, Todd McGregor. Ryan Branchew now slotted in that 6th spot. That's who passed Ron Schutte. We'll take a look right there at Schutte as he tries to track back down Branchew for that spot. And I'm not sure if it's too early for the green flag pit stops here yet or not, but Chad Lancaster. Excuse me, my goodness. Chad Lancaster already down pit road, already getting some fuel in tires. So very early stop here, just 19 laps now on the board, and Lancaster already coming down for some fuel and tires. May have had a little bit of trouble, though. We'll have to keep our eye on how long he is down there on pit road. No fast repairs here in Swift Motorsports Ayers iRacingPaints Arca Menards series. So if you have a little bit of trouble and a little bit of a disagreement with that outside wall, you very well may need to bring it to pit road prematurely, but not looking like that's the case. Looks like that was a scheduled pit stop for Chad Lancaster in and out of his box right at about that 16-second mark. And I know what you're saying out there, race fans, 16 seconds, Dave. My goodness, that's a long time. Well, in these Arca cars, the pit stops are a little bit slower when you get those 4 freshies in fuel, so we'll have to wait and see which one of these drivers stays out there, which one of them starts to come to pit road. And here comes Todd McGregor. He'll drop from the 7th spot on the track down to pit road as Ryan Branchew and Ron Schutte continue out on the track. Nobody else in the field gonna come to pit road that time by, so Ron Schutte will continue to try to track down Ryan Branchew, but everybody chasing this man, Joshua Kanata, up at the front of this field. 5.3 second advantage for the Supercuts 16 machine, and he is not having any trouble at all. Kanata to pit road, Thorndike to pit road, Branch into, oh my goodness, Jason Branch right into the side of Jim Thorndike, right, oh my goodness, right in front of Ryan Branchew as well, going by on the track still. That was some big time trouble right there on entry to pit road. Ryan Branchew is going to take over the race lead as he stays out on the track for another lap or two. John McMillan Jr. still also out there on track, scored right at about the 8 seconds behind Ryan Branchew here as they continue this green flag run. We have been clean and green for the entirety of tonight's race so far. Lap 21 now on the board out of the 80 scheduled in the official race distance. These drivers now having to go through their first green flag pit stop, and it looks like Branchew going to stretch it a little bit further. He's going to go yet another lap, and all that's going to really allow is these drivers to make up quite a bit more ground on Ryan Branchew. That last time by, we'll have to look at the stopwatch, 55.67 for Branchew. So these drivers that have already been to pit road last time by, well, as they begin to cycle through, Chad Lancaster, one of the faster drivers on the track, he came to pit road back on lap number 17. Race leader ran a 55.67 last time by. Lancaster right at 1 second faster with a 54.88. So Lancaster, even being one of the back markers here tonight, still right about a second faster each lap. Branchew gonna break for pit road this time by as Joshua Kanata looks like he is going to try to reassume that race lead. Does indeed look like he'll have that sewed up. John McMillan Jr. now going to take that second spot after the hard contact between Jason Branch and Todd McGregor getting onto pit road. Ron Schutte with a good recovery. Jim Thorndike is the one that had that trouble getting onto pit road contact, and that has put Thorndike just a little bit behind the field, about 30 seconds in his pit box. So that is where he has lost the time, down 4 spots now from where he started tonight's race, with Joshua Kanata leading the field once again. Quick time, fastest lap of the race last time by for Kanata, 53.12. And you can see Kanata still getting sideways. Whoa, big moment there. Going from turn number 3 down the little short chute into turn number 4. You can see Kanata sideways, and you still see him sideways making his way off of these corners, man. Kanata has an 11.5 second advantage over the field here so far after that first round of green flag pit stops, and we are just over the quarter way mark through tonight's road starts here. 200 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Gonna do a little bit of checking in with the weatherman. What's he saying it's like out there? Track doesn't look too bad. 96 degrees out there is the track temperature. 74 degrees for all the fans out there in the stands. So enjoying some great racing and enjoying a dominating performance. Although it is still early, a long way to go still here tonight. But Kanata, unless he has a catastrophic failure or just oversteps it on exit one of these times, it's going to be very rough for these drivers to try to make up the time. These guys definitely need to see one of those yellow flags. Driver dropping some positions here. We'll take a look at the 31 of Donald Bennett not having as good of a go at it right now as maybe he would like. Now being passed by that 13 of Ryan Douglas. Douglas going to take that 9th spot away, little sideways there off of turn 4, but still able to keep Bennett behind him. Bennett going to fall back to where he started from here tonight, right in that 10th position. A little bit of house cleaning in order, and it's going to be a quick one at that. Tonight we started with 14 drivers on the starting grid. We have still got all 14 out there running on the track as we make our way around for lap number 25. All 14 drivers still on track. All 14. Well, except for one, I apologize. 13 drivers on the lead lap. Larry Poling looks like he is the one and only driver scored off of the lead lap. So indeed in that lucky dog position should we find ourselves in a situation like that. But for now, looks like we're going to stay clean and green. Still from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, gonna jump to a battle for a spot inside the top 5. Ron Schutte and that AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series machine has Jim Thorndike right behind him. That familiar 59 GTR simulator machine coming back to the front, knocking on the door of a top 5 once again. And just off in the distance there, you can see Ryan Branchew running in the 7th spot right now. Branchew stayed out there for an extra 2 laps longer than the rest of the field. I'm not sure that's really going to translate into very much, as these drivers are going to have to make, I do believe, at least 2 more pit stops to make it to the end of tonight's road starts here. 280 laps in tonight's official race distance. We are now on lap number 27 out of those 80s, and Branchew very well may have a little bit of a strategy here to where that final pit stop on lap number 60 or thereabout, lap 64 or so, he's going to be able to take a little less fuel than the rest of the drivers, maybe try to stack this thing out and take only fuel at that last stop. You know, tire strategy can be pretty crazy here at Indianapolis. If you're easy on that right front, you have that opportunity to maybe just change right front. Maybe just take fuel for one of these fuel runs. It's a 20-lap run. Are you willing to give up some of the time to the fresher tires after gaining it from not taking tires? It's all a matter of where you're at in the points. Few drivers may look to roll the dice. We'll check in with some of those drivers now that are on that outside looking in. And we are looking at one of them right there on your screen, the 28 of Ron Schutte. On the outside of that top 12, looking in. Oh, big slide out of turn 1 there for Schutte. And my goodness, that could have went bad pretty quickly. Able to corral that iHeartRadio AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series Toyota machine. Looks like he is sporting that Toyota here tonight. So the Camry getting the job done for Schutte. Just a few points out He only has to make up a little bit, and he is doing what he's got to do. Your highest driver on the outside looking in, your highest running driver on the outside looking in, and Shooty doing what he's got to do, and Thorndike looking to make his way up through the field as well. We'll check in with Marshall Scully. There you can see that 63 machine right there crossing that famous yard of bricks, running back in the 8th spot, down one position from where he started tonight's race, and he is also one of those drivers that needs an absolutely fantastic run here tonight. Also needs a little bit of help from the drivers in front of him if he's going to want to make his way into the championship contending spots. Also out there, John McMillan Sr. back here running in the 8th position as we slowly close in on the halfway point. McMillan Sr. trying to join a junior with a chance at a championship, but I don't want to say a long shot, but definitely one of the drivers the furthest on the outside looking in. Only one more driver really further outside of him, and that is Shane Bliss. Bliss in the 2 machine, that PPG Chevy Impala here for the AYERS iRacing Paints. Arca Menards series has been running pretty solidly when he does make it to the track. Shane missing a few races here and there, so falling behind in the points, and that has put him in a pretty precarious situation coming in to tonight's race. We'll jump back to that battle between Ron Shooty and Jim Thorndike. No longer a battle as Thorndike takes that top 5 spot away. And right now for that driver sitting in that 28 machine, he has just got to be thinking, you know, I need to get back up there as we go on board here with Shooty. He's just got to be thinking, you know, I've got to get there. I got to get some of these points back. I got to do something to try to get a lap led somehow, maybe gain a bonus point that way. Shooty, and I don't want to say in desperation mode here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but he needs a big-time finish, and he very well may get one. Look how loose that 59 was just out in front. That is absolutely crazy loose. This is one of your only battles, and it is your closest battle on the speedway. We do have another battle back through the field. Donald Bennett involved with that one, trying to take a spot away from Ryan Douglas. Those two continue to battle there. You can see him just off in the background. Ryan Douglas, Donald Bennett, as well as Marshall Scully in that 63 just in front of Douglas. So it's about an even gap between those two drivers. Bennett trying to make his way back up inside the top 10. Running in that 10th and final top 10 spot here right now on lap number 32 out of the 80 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. And as this battle begins to dissipate just a little bit, race fans, we're going to check back in with your race leader, Kanata, up here dominating the field. Almost a 13-second advantage here as he makes his way back across turns 1 and 2. And well, with that being said, race fans, we're going to take ourselves a small commercial break, step away side by side. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss any of the action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Back trackside, as we were under that commercial break, you seen Ron Schutte drop yet another spot to Ryan Branchew. The 6 able to make his way up and around that 28 and put Branchew now into that 6th position. Large gaps all throughout this field. We'll start at the front and run down a few of the drivers here tonight. And I tell you what, we'll go ahead and just work our way all the way through the entire field here tonight for the road starts here. 200 and Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series driver at the front of the field leading the race. Sitting inside of that 16 Super Cuts machine, Joshua Kanata. Driver back here in that 2nd spot, way back here, all the way on the back stretch still. There you can see that 15 of John McMillan Jr. Jason Branch in that 22 machine, the Virginia Beach native, trying to get up there and make a little bit of ground up, is running in the 3rd and final podium position. Meanwhile, back in the 4th spot, there you can see that 71 of Todd McGregor. He's been having a solid run here tonight, up 2 spots from where he started tonight's race in the 4th position. Jim Thorndike in the 59 GTR simulator machine. There you can see him making his way past the yard of bricks. Thorndike runs in 5th. Driver now up in the 6th position, Ryan Branchew, the 18-year-old out of Toledo, Ohio. 4X Racing's very own Branchew making his way up through the field, now running in 6th. 28 of Ron Schutte having a fine, solid run here so far tonight inside the top 10. Has been up inside the top 5, but now back in the 7th position. Running 8th here so far, right at the halfway point, the 13 of Ryan Douglas. That's going to bring us back here to the 9th place driver from Martinsburg, West Virginia. The BRL Premier Cup Series driver from Mars Racing, Marshall Scully, getting the job done here just inside your top 10. John McMillan Sr. will round out your top 10. There you can see him just able to make a pass on Donald Bennett. So Bennett in that 31 falling to the wayside just a little bit. There you can see the 31 machine. Kutztown, PA's very own Donald Bennett running in 11th place, but Bennett pretty safe when it comes to his chase hopes. Back in the 12th position, Shane Bliss in the 2 has gained a little bit of ground on the field, has gained 2 spots from when we last joined Bliss in that 2 machine, and he runs just in front of Chad Lancaster in the 20 machine from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. The 31-year-old driving that 20 machine, having a little bit of struggles here tonight starting from pit road, and it has not really went his way since then. Lancaster also being scored 1 lap down. Sitting in the 13th spot, Larry Poling, last driver out there on the track, and he is being scored 1 lap down. He'll join Shane Bliss, Chad Lancaster down 1 lap, so those 3 drivers are going to battle for that lucky dog position, and right now, according to the timing and scoring, not a real battle at all. Looks like Kanata's going to come back down pit road before anybody else. Jason Branch also going to drop down pit road this time by, so John McMillan Jr., he'll take over the race lead as Chad Lancaster brings his 20 machine to pit road. And I'm interested to see what these drivers do, especially Ryan Branchew. Branchew stayed out the longest last time, didn't come down to pit road for 22 laps, so he's going to be able to go another 3, maybe even 4 more laps than the rest of this field here still. And John McMillan Jr., he's going to have to come to pit road probably this time by. So look for the race lead to kind of get flip-flopped a little bit here as we work ourselves through our second green pit. I can spit it out. Green flag pit cycle. There you go. I knew I could spit it out eventually. McMillan Jr. gonna break for pit road. That leaves these 2 drivers right here battling for a spot on the track. Thorndike, Branchew right there. Just about 3 car lengths separate those 2 drivers running second and third right now, and both hard on the brakes to pit road. That's going to give us the full round of green flag pit stops already, as it looks like Donald Bennett already coming out of pit road and getting up to speed right now. But here comes the man that will take back over that race lead. There you see the big-time gain that he's going to have over this field. Joshua Kanata takes the race lead back once again. New race leader for the 3rd time here tonight. Kanata has been to the front of the field. We have had, I believe, 6 different race leaders, but this is the 3rd time that this 16 Supercuts Chevy Monte Carlo has led the field, and we are just past the halfway point here tonight, so only a little bit less than 100 miles for these drivers to go to find out who's going to have a shot for their championship hopes and dreams. Kanata on the outside looking in, and he's doing pretty much what he said he was going to do. Said he was just going to come out here and try to shake things up a little bit and win as much as he can, knowing that he doesn't have a shot at the championship here this season. Looking to fire things off at the end of the year, set himself up for season number 3 with some great momentum, and having drivers taking a look at him as the guy that they're going to need to watch out for if they're going to want to capture another championship. So look for Kanata to continue to be fast for the rest of the season. And I mean, this is just a testament to how fast this driver is right here, right now. That 16 machine, a 2.5 mile raceway. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 2.5 miles. It's a triangle-shaped track, very flat corners, not very banked, very long straightaways, small little short chutes in between each and every one of those corners. And there you can see your race leader putting yet another victim 1 lap down. The 31 of Donald Bennett was running well and has fallen off the pace. Bennett gonna be listed in the lucky dog position, back in the 10th position. And that's what I was saying, race fans. That's how fast Joshua Kanata is right now. He has put the entire field on notice here tonight. Only 9 drivers left on the lead lap, and Larry Poland going to have to come to pit road, so that is going to leave us with just 8 drivers left on that lead lap. We haven't had a caution so far here tonight, and lap times are right around the low 53s to the high 55s by the end of the run. So with 55-second laps, let's just say Kanata is still able to pick off not 1, not 2, but 5 different drivers and put them all 1 lap down here. Chad Lancaster with some big trouble, and Lancaster has been on pit road for quite some time. Crew still down there with the Sawzall, Bearer Bond beating away on that 20 machine. So Lancaster has seen some better days, but still going to soldier on here tonight and see if by some chance he can't get that thing fixed up and back out on the track here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Road Starts Here 200. As Kanata continues his domination, we're going to jump back with this man right here, Jason Branch, as he slowly closes in on John McMillan Jr. There you can see Jr. just off in front of a Branch. They'll make their way off of, I believe that is turn number 3, and now down into turn number 4. Branch in that 22 machine hunting McMillan Jr. Little bit of fan perspective here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway here in the Road Starts Here 200. Gonna jump out there in the grandstands just a little bit, give you some of the fan camera shots that we have here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There you can still see that battle between John McMillan Jr. as well as Jason Branch. Both of those drivers still about 4 or 5 car lengths away from each other, but one of your closest battles on track now back here for that 5th and 6th position. We'll jump back here as I believe that is Todd McGregor just off in front of Ryan Branchu. Ron Schutte has fallen to the wayside. Back about 4.4 seconds from this battle that's developing between these two drivers. Jim Thorndike just off in front of McGregor. There you can see Thorndike halfway down the backstretch. A lot of great camera shots here tonight from all different sorts of angles. And I tell you what, why don't we go down on board now with Branchu. There you can see just over the nose of Branchu as he continues to try to take that spot away from McGregor. And these two, believe it or not, they are slowly closing a little bit of that gap to Jim Thorndike. Branchu looks to the inside. Drag race down the front stretch to the line. They're going to give the spot to Branchu that time by and into turn 1. Branchu going to utilize that inside lane. McGregor with a little bit of a slower entry there, trying to get him back on that throttle point. Not able to do so. Going to lose some ground now back. Already 1 car length as they work their way off of turn number 2. But look for that draft to really help that Chevy Impala keep touch with the Dodge of Ryan Branchu. Branchu still trying to get a little bit further through the field. Now up in the 5th position. Just 31 laps remaining when the leader crosses the start-finish line next time by. So these drivers not just putting it down here tonight, but putting it down at a very, very fast pace. Kanata, man, oh my goodness, look at that gap. 16.5 seconds in front of John McMillan Jr., who has got almost a 2-second gap over Jason Branch. Branch with about a 15-second advantage back to Jim Thorndike. Man, I am telling you, this field is strung way out here tonight. We'll check back in on the weather report, see how anything has changed, and no, not really much of anything changing. Track temperature right where it was, air temperature, as well as the wind, everything looks to be staying the same. So drivers not having to really deal with the changing, the track conditions changing. They're just having to deal with some rough handling cars right now at this point in time. Last on the pit road back around lap 40 or so, so these drivers are already about halfway through this green flag run. All going to have to come back down to pit road right around that lap 60 mark. We've seen this driver right here, Ryan Branchew. We've seen him stretch it out 22 laps on one tank of fuel. So will Branchew come early and stretch it on out, or will he choose to run it late, run it lean, and run a shorter fuel tank, a shorter fuel load into the tank? There you can go. Sometimes, you know, the tongue just isn't fast enough for the mind. We'll just, never mind. Lap number 52 out of the 80 scheduled in tonight's road starts here. 200 underway. We continue to watch the Serve Pro number 6 Ryan Branchew make his way around this 2.5 mile historical famed home of MotorSports, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And man, oh man, I tell you what, it was upwards of 16.5 seconds. John McMillan Jr. making up some time. Now it's just right at 15.7 seconds. So McMillan Jr. ate away about a second right there. So, maybe stretching the fuel a little bit is Kanata possibly. Not quite sure. Last time by, 54.73 for your race leader, and multiple drivers able to run a little bit faster than him. John McMillan Jr., actually one of the fastest drivers on track last time by, besides Ryan Branchew. Both of those drivers under 54.3 seconds for their last time by. So both of those drivers much faster than your race leader, Kanata. Gonna jump back here, check in with one of the drivers on the outside looking in, who is right there knocking on the door of trying to take a spot away from Donald Bennett. Bennett running right there in that 9th position, being scored a 1 lap down. Bennett looking to try to keep himself right there and see if he can't somehow get his way back onto the lead lap while we've still got this battle going on between the 59 of Jim Thorndike and Ryan Branchew in that 6th Serve Pro machine right there slotted in behind him. These two drivers continue to mix it up for a spot inside the top 5, 4th and 5th on the line right now. Thorndike in 4th, Branchew back in the 5th spot, and Ryan not really needing the spots, not really needing the points. But still, once you're on track, the race mentality takes over, and you want each and every position that you can possibly get, that you could possibly snag away. And speaking of snag away, looks like we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. We'll step away side by side so you won't miss any of the action here live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right here and right back. And back trackside as we were away at the commercial break. You seen off to the right-hand side, you seen Ryan Branchew make his way around Jim Thorndike and now set sail. Thorndike falls back to 5th. Big gap back to his closest competition, Todd McGregor, running about 4 seconds behind Thorndike right now, and everybody gapped up all over the place. No real battles to speak of. So why don't we go ahead and run down some driver highlights for you. Head back up to the front of the field with your race leader, your dominating race leader here tonight, walking away with the pole position as well as leading pretty much the entire night as we get right on the cusp of these green flag pit stops. So we'll go ahead and make this a quick top 5 highlight right here. Joshua Kanata continues to lead this field. Back in the second spot, still John McMillan Jr. He has not been able to close very much ground. He has closed about 2.5 seconds, but that is just not going to be enough. Jason Branch right here running in that third spot, the Virginia Beach native there. You can see very quiet on the gas. These drivers trying to save as much fuel as they possibly can, and now running in fourth. Ryan Branchew took that fourth spot away from the driver just behind him. Thorndike rounds out your top 5 with just over 20 laps to go. Gonna jump around just a little bit more, highlight a few more drivers as we continue to run here. Ron Schutte, there you can see that 28 machine. He is one of those drivers that is battling for a championship spot, battling for his championship hopes, and running outside of the top 5. I'm not sure if that is gonna be enough to slot him inside that top 12. Keep in mind, though, the 11th place points sitter here tonight, Greg Deicht, he is not in the field, not out here, not going to gain any ground here tonight. So those drivers do have that outside chance looking in that they're going to be able to put themselves just in front of a Deicht and just inside of your top 12. Drivers do look like they're extending this last run of fuel here. Lap number 61 now on the board out of the 80 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. So just 20 laps to go, and the entire field still out there. No Jason Branch gonna break for pit road this time by. Branch looking to gain a little bit more ground if he can try to jump John McMillan Jr. I don't think anybody's going to be able to jump enough to get in front of Joshua Kanata as Ryan Branchew brings his machine to pit road that lap as well. We'll jump back up front with your race leader as he makes his way back off of, I believe that was turn number 3, now into turn number 4. He's going to stay out on the track, it looks like, for yet another lap. No, he's going to peel off late and bring it down to a crawl. Gets it woed up in time. No tire smoke, no lockup. As Ron Schutte also to pit road, Marshall Scully into pit road. Big moment there for Donald Bennett coming to pit road. John McMillan Jr. going to pit from the second spot. That very well may give Thorndike the opportunity to lead the race one more time, but Thorndike just now making his way off of turn number 4. What does that 59 do? And looks like he's going to go ahead and come to pit road as well. Todd McGregor, Jason Branch still out there on track. And Branch is the first driver to be back out there on track with those fresh tires in the fuel. So we'll have to wait to see how all that cycles out. As Thorndike comes down pit road, there's Jason Branch making his way off of turn number 4. And will he be able to make his way out in front of John McMillan Jr.? It does look like he was able to do so. That was John McMillan Sr. in the background. John Jr. keeping that second spot right now, and it looks like he has gained a little bit of ground on the race leader, but not quite enough to do anything with. Jason Branch still sitting right around, by the time this all sorts out, right at about the 6.5 seconds or so behind your second place runner, John McMillan Jr. On board camera shot with that 22 of Jason Branch. Do want to give a big shout out to each and every one of the crew members, each and every one of these teams for allowing us to put these great camera shots on board these AYERS iRacing Paints Arca Menards Series machines. And while we've got a minute, well, why don't we go ahead and take a minute? House cleaning in order here tonight for the road starts here 200 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We still got a few drivers making their way onto pit road, and John McMillan Jr. may have gotten popped. He has got to come back down to pit road. Oh my goodness, that's going to change things at the front of this field. Oh no, late pit road problems for John McMillan Jr., and that's going to put him all the way outside of the top 5 and possibly off of the lead lap. Second place falling right in the hands of this man right here, Jason Branch. But oh my, look at this 23-second gap up to this man right here leading the field. Joshua Kanata makes his way off of turn 2 and down the backstretch, just putting another driver down one lap, and he is very close to putting more drivers down one lap. As we were mentioning, house cleaning in order here tonight. 14 drivers took to the starting grid. We have still got all 14 drivers running out there on the track, but only your top 6 remain on the lead lap. That is just how fast this 16 Supercuts machine piloted by Joshua Kanata has been here tonight as we cross the line with just 16 laps now remaining. All of these drivers going to be able to make it on fuel. All of them going to be able to make it on the tires. Doesn't look like we really had anybody out there playing any of the fuel and tire strategy game except for Ryan Branchew. He was about 4 seconds faster than anybody in his pit box, dropping the jack right around the 11-second mark. So Branchew may be out there on just right sides. Even with just possibly taking the right size, Ryan Branchew right here in that 6 machine, he is not going to be able to make his way up to Jason Branch. He's about 14 seconds behind Branch, so he's going to need about a second or more for the remainder of the rest of the race, and that is going to be quite a feat to accomplish here. Last time by, Branchew was about 0.2 of a second slower than the drivers in front of him that he's trying to chase down. Gonna jump around once again to some random camera shots here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the road starts here 200. Looks like we've got more drivers to pit road. Larry Poling on pit road for his final stop of the night. Thorndike gonna make his way back up and around Ryan Branchew. What a run that was by that 59, but now the 6 of Branchew, he's going to be afforded the draft. He's going to be afforded the slipstream down this very long backstretch, but will those 2 tires hold off? I don't think that was the move to be making. Branchew was inside the top 10 coming in to the point standings here tonight. Not a whole lot on the line. Not a whole lot of reason to go ahead and try that 2-tire stop. Nobody gonna catch your race leader, Joshua Kanata, unless we have a late race caution. That will change everything here tonight. And as we continue around this 2.5-mile oval, do want to keep you in the loop on everything. Do want to keep the upcoming races on your mind. Next week, all of the Swift Motorsports Series gonna take a brief week off, get recharged and refocused and ready to fire things off when we head into the opening round of the chase in each and every one of these Swift Motorsports Series. So March 15th, mark it on your calendar, race fans. That's when the AYERS iRacing Paints Arca Menards Series will be back in action, starting the chase down there at Homestead Miami Speedway. So that is going to be a barn burner. The Truck Series, the Swift MotorSports sponsored Performance Motorsports Truck Series, will head off in the Homestead for their very first round of the chase as well. Then the RB Riggs Custom Computers Xfinity Series will fire things off in Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Hot Shoe 116 to start the chase for their championship run. So big races coming up very soon. Homestead, Kansas, as well as Kentucky on the schedule for these AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series drivers. And you gotta wonder how many more of these Kanata's gonna show up to these very big tracks. And Kanata has absolutely smashed the field here tonight. Gonna jump back up with your race leader, as we said tonight, dominating tonight's race, absolutely walking away with this thing. Upwards of a 27-second advantage over the second place runner Jason Branch. Jim Thorndike, Ryan Branch, Todd McGregor, last drivers on the lead lap, as your race leader Joshua Kanata just put Ron Schutte down one lap. The 28 machine right there behind your race leader, sitting in that sixth position. And that just lets you know the pace that Kanata has had all race long. He has been about 0.3 faster each and every lap than Jason Branch. So even late in the going, continuing to stretch that advantage. Leader gonna cross the line to bring us to 10 laps to go here tonight at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And as we were talking about your race leader, Joshua Kanata, do want to mention, he won last week. Going to make it back-to-back appearances in a victory lane, but very stark contrast of tracks between these two race-winning performances. He dominated last Monday night here on Swift Motorsports, AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series, right here on the home network for everything Swift, the Turn a 3 Racing Network. I called it right here. Darkside Dave in the Cave bringing you all the calls here for Swift Motorsports. And last week, dominating performance, as I said, there at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Very, very different than the big wide open track here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Cornering somewhat similar. You got to get down on the brakes and back off, let it roll before you can get back on the throttle very hard. And it looks like these flatter style tracks may very well play in to the hands of the driver inside of that 16 Supercuts machine. Man, I tell you what, he has absolutely just destroyed this field here tonight. Gonna jump back to a little battle. There you can see it. It's not a battle on the lead lap. It's not a battle for a top 5. It is a battle for the last spot inside the top 10, though. Ryan Douglas in the 13 has it. Marshall Scully lined up right behind him. That 63 trying to get himself a little bit more points, trying to see if he can't break his way into the top 10. Scully still chasing Douglas, and this is your only real battle on the track right now. Battle for the 10th and 11th spot. Both of these drivers being scored 2 laps down, but both of them still going at it very, very hard here. The racer inside everybody, it doesn't matter how late in the race it is. It doesn't matter how many laps down you are. You're going to try to make up every spot that you can. And that is exactly what we're seeing this 63 of Marshall Scully do. But losing a little bit of ground now. Looks like maybe Scully might have heated up that right front just a little bit too much there. You see him struggling on the corner exit here, and he's going to lose a ton of ground now to Ryan Douglas. Douglas trying to secure that top 10 finish. And I just cannot get over this gap. This is an absolutely, I think this is probably one of the most dominating performances that I have ever seen at this track here out of any style of car. This driver, Joshua Kanata, man, he came to Indianapolis Motor Speedway and he did not come to play around whatsoever. Since the drop of the green flag, he skated away. By the end of lap number 2, he already had right at about a 1 second advantage. And by the time we worked lap 7, he already had a 4 second advantage. So he was not playing around from the drop of the green flag, and he continues to smash down these laps here tonight. Was and has been consistently one of your fastest drivers on the speedway. We'll keep an eye on the lap times here. Last time by, your race leader ran a 54.89. That's slightly slower than Jason Branch running in that second spot. Branch running a 54.86. Fastest driver that last time by, however, was that 59 of Jim Thorndike. Thorndike running a 54.50, so 0.3 of a second faster than your race leader, but there is just no way he is going to run him down from 43 seconds behind. And I tell you who very well may be in trouble when he looks in the mirror as your race leader gets the high five from your flagman out there. High five. 5 laps to go for Joshua Kanata. He's got Todd McGregor slotted in just in front of him. And how hard will McGregor fight here to stay on the lead lap? McGregor is already slotted in a very good spot. He's going to continue on to the chase. Not really going to affect him tonight whether he goes down a lap or not at this point in time, because McGregor came in to tonight's race sitting second in the points, just to Jason Brandt, Andy Starcher, as well as Larry Poling, Jim Thorndike, Kevin Burrows, Donald Bennett, Chad Lancaster, all rounded out your top 7 in the points. 8 in the points, I apologize. Ryan Branchew and John McMillan Jr. rounding out those top 10. And I'm interested to see how hard McGregor fights here. I mean, you do have the race leader right on your tail, but you do want your pride intact as well. You want to be one of those drivers that's able to finish on the lead lap, because Ganada has just absolutely smashed the field here tonight, and he's going to look for that spot. He's looking to keep more drivers behind him, and he's going to make that pass with ease as they head back into turn number 3. So put McGregor down 1 lap. We are down to just 4 drivers left on the lead lap here tonight. What a run. What a dominating car for Kanata. And as we close into just 3 laps remaining here tonight, if you haven't already out there in TV land, race fans, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. Whether you're just sliding through to say what's up, or you are the dedicated fan, friend, or family, we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. So go ahead, as I've already said, and throw these drivers a thumbs up. Back in and out of turn number 4. Now back down this long front stretch to the yard of bricks, popsicle sticks on display for Joshua Kanata. 2 laps to go here. And the road starts here 200 for Swift Motorsports, AYERS iRacingPaints, Arca Menards Series. What a race it has been tonight on Turn 3 Racing Network. And keep your eyes peeled, because we're going to have some great action for you here once again tomorrow night for the Performance Motorsports Truck Series right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for one of the series here in the Swift Motorsports umbrella. And caution! Caution flag comes out. Caution on the speedway. Oh my goodness, things about to change. Looks like Ryan Branchew may have been involved. Branchew backwards into the outside wall. We'll take a look, see how it all went down. Over there you can see Branchew just sideways into the corner. Absolutely sideways, trying to drift it through the corner here. And Branchew gonna lose a ton of ground now and a ton of points. Ooh, man, back live at the front of the field. We'll go high above the track for just a brief moment. There you can see most of the drivers beginning to try to catch up with the back of the Chevy Silverado pace truck. There you can see race leader Kanata catching up to the pace truck, and it's going to be quite a minute before the rest of the field is able to catch up with him. Kanata very well may be able to come down pit road and get fuel and tires before the rest of the field even catches up. And, you know, I not wanting to jinx that 16 machine, but he has been the dominating car here tonight. And how many times have we seen it in the past? Not just here, but in real life with the big boys, these drivers that are able to dominate the races the way that they do sometimes end up losing this thing on a green-white checkered. This is going to be our first official attempt at a green-white checker, and it does look like Kanata is able to draw Jason Branch. Jim Thorndike also comes to pit road. What will Todd McGregor do? McGregor looks like he's going to stay out there on the track. Ron Schutte also going to stay out there on the track. Schutte going to get himself back onto the lead lap. So, ooh, going to be pretty interesting here. Todd McGregor, Ron Schutte, John McMillan Sr., as well as Jr., they're all going to stay out on track, all going to get themselves back on the lead lap. We're going to stay right here with the pit stops, and with ease, Kanata beats the field off of pit road. Going to keep an eye on that battle right there. Branch able to get down and away before Thorndike. And what this really does, that lets Todd McGregor get himself back on the lead lap and back on the same set of tires as the drivers in front of him. But unfortunately for McGregor, he's got that lucky dog, so he's going to have to start at the tail end of the field. Not just the tail end of the lead lap cars, but at the end of the longest line here. So McGregor's still going to have to make up a ton of ground on the track in order to make up any more positions. But man, I tell you, this driver right here, he has got to be pretty nervous. He's fired off very well all night long. I say he's fired off well all night long. Only had to fire off really one time because we were clean and green all the way to the end there. All the way to about lap number 79, I believe it was, when that caution came out. We'll double check the scoring, and it looks like caution did indeed come out back on lap number 78. So these drivers work themselves into a green-white checkered attempt here. The first official attempt at a green-white checkered. We'll wait and see how everybody goes, what everybody does, and it does indeed look like a few of the drivers that are one lap down electing just to go ahead and come down pit road and get those fuel and tires, but a few of them gonna stay out, gonna receive their wave around, and gonna try to make their way a little bit further up through the field as the Chevy Silverado pace truck lights are out. We are ready to fire things off for what may be the final time of tonight's race. The 16 of Kanata dominating here tonight, but now has to be absolutely on it for 2 more laps. Can he hold off Jason Branch? Jim Thorndike right there going to line up just behind him on that inside lane, second row. Man, I tell you what, I do not know. This is going to be a crazy little finish here to what was a pretty uneventful evening for most of the drivers out there. After that initial start, drivers had some battles going on there, and eventually after our second round of green flag pit stops, looked like the field was pretty much where they were going to be. A few small battles throughout the field, but not very many to speak of. And now we're going to reset and redo everything, re-rack them. It's time to roll once again here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the road starts here. 200. We got ourselves a green-white checkered finish. Who's going to get the job done? Who's going to capture that checkered flag? Silverado ready to duck off, makes the left-hand turn, waiting for it, and green flag flies as Kanata hits the loud pedal. He skates away from Jason Branch. There you can see Thorndike. He's going to slot himself into second with ease. Branch falling back to third now. Going to have to watch out because here comes Todd McGregor. McGregor about 10 seconds back, but already making his way through some of these back markers as Kanata, man, there he goes. He gone. Battle on the track is going to be between these two drivers right here, and it's going to be a battle for second and third here tonight. Already right at about a 1 second race distance for Kanata over Thorndike and Branch, and as these two drivers continue to battle, that's going to let Kanata continue to slip away. Branch all over Thorndike there, getting into, I believe that was turn number 4, as they'll make their way back across the front stretch. White flag in the air. Final lap here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the road starts here. 200 for Swift Motorsports. AYERS iRacingPaints. Arca Menards Series. Thorndike still in second, trying to hold off and fend off Jason Branch, who is hard charging and wanting that second spot. Branch has been notorious here for podium finishes, has been notorious for those second place finishes. Not sure if he's going to be able to back up last week's second place finish with yet another one, but able to back up last week's performance. This man right here off of turn number 3. And now into 4 for the final time of the night. Joshua Kanata gonna walk away with the checkered flag with that race win after dominating here tonight and snatching the pole as well. Kanata takes the checkered flag. Close battle between Jim Thorndike and Jason Branch to the line. Just about 200ths of a second separated second Jim Thorndike from Jason Branch. And my goodness, as I said, we'll keep our eye on this guy right here because he absolutely demolished the field here tonight. Even on that green-white checkered attempt, he was able to get up through the gears and just pull away from the rest of the drivers. Finished with over a second and a half advantage just in those 2 laps there, so that just lets you know how hooked up and fired up that 16 has been all night long. And let's see if he's got the fuel to do some burnouts. I believe he will. He may have topped off just to make sure. Gonna spin it around hard into the wall. Don't need that rear deck lid no more. Gonna enjoy some great celebrations here from that 16, and as he continues to burn it down here at the Brickyard, we're gonna step away to set things up for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In back track side, after all the celebrations have been done, all the smoke has cleared. Let's see if we can't catch in and have a word or two in with the driver that walked away in the third position here tonight. Usually, and having a little issues with some equipment here, usually finishing in that second spot, but tonight walking away with that third and final podium spot here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Jason Branch. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Dave.
Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling after another podium finish?
Second would have been better. I wish that caution wouldn't have came out, and then that restart of the green white checkered. I missed third gear about twice, and once Jim got by me, I wasn't gonna push it. He's a teammate, so I wasn't gonna push it and wreck us both out. Third, I stay in first place going into the playoffs, so I'm all right with third.
I was gonna mention that there, Jason. You came into tonight's race sitting second in the points, heading into the championship, with tonight being the final race of the regular season. So now that everything's done with the regular season, and we look forward to these next 5 races in this championship run, is there any one of those 5 races that just sticks out to you as one that you're really gonna have to work on?
I'm pulling up the schedule right now. I really don't like is Kansas the one you run up against the wall? The one you run up against the wall, either Kansas or Kentucky. I really don't like that track. Miami's good. The Kansas or Kentucky, whichever one you don't run on the wall, I'm good at. Darlington, that's going to be that's going to be the one that I'm really worried about. And then I'm really good at Phoenix, so.
All right. Well, I think you run the wall a little bit more in Kansas than you do in Kentucky, but you can really carry the speed on corner exits by really washing out next to that outside wall, running about middle to high lane instead of just pure high lane. So, yeah, I get confused on those ones too. They both start with a K though.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Kansas, and something about running the wall. I don't know what it is. I mean, I do it fine. It's nerve wracking running the wall. I mean, you miss your entry by, just a couple feet and you're in the wall. So maybe I'll take it conservative there. Depending on how Miami goes, we'll see how we go into Kansas and tackle Kansas.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, my man, it's been a pleasure catching up with you week in and week out, because it's been almost every single week we talk to you in some form or fashion here in the podium spots. Haven't been able to break into victory lane just yet. We'll see if you can get that done in the chase, but fabulous regular season and another great run here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So before we let you go and enjoy the third place here tonight, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that 22?
Yeah, I always got to thank Serpro, Dynamark, Functional Fitness, Great House, 4X Racing, my teammates, Jim, Ron, Ryan, and Ryan. Heck of a job making the season great. I mean, I look at this races, and then I watch the truck and the Xfinity and the Cup races, and I think we got the cleanest drivers out here. So I'd like to thank all the drivers for making this season the way it is, and it's fun to race when you can actually race and not drive around, eye pacing.
Absolutely. I've been in a couple eye-pacing races myself, and it's no fun.
No, and like I said, heck of a group of drivers. I know this is the bottom series, but these drivers are going somewhere.
Absolutely, my man. Well, congratulations again on a great run throughout the season, and we'll look forward to catching up with you in 2 weeks when the chase starts.
Talk to you in 2 weeks. See you, Dave.
And there you go. Final words from the driver, walking away in third here tonight, the 22 of Jason Branch, as we said, coming to the post-race interviews, typically finishing right in that second spot. He's finished third a handful of times, still not able to break that victory lane curse just yet. So Branch going to have to try to get that job done once he gets into the chase. And now let's see if we can't catch up and have a word with his teammate, Jim Thorndike, walking away with the second spot here tonight. Jim, it's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling after a fine run here tonight?
Well, after the first pit stop, I was very leery about it because I had gotten 13 seconds of damage, so I had to have some luck on my side.
Absolutely. We've seen that contact and a little bit of chaos coming to pit road there between yourself and another driver. That puts you behind the 8 ball just a little bit, but able to persevere and get yourself into a podium spot and all the way up to second by the end of this thing. You came into tonight's race pretty much locked into the chase in the 5th place in the points. So we'll go ahead and ask you, like we asked Jason Branch there in the 3rd place interview, out of the 5 races left on the schedule, which one of those tracks is the one that you think you need to focus on the most, or that matters or means the most?
Well, they all mean the most because you got to be able to advance through. So, I got to focus on all of them and take them one at a time. But the one that I think is going to be the tough one would be Darlington, because that's a really tough track to race, and it doesn't take much, and you're sitting last.
Absolutely, and Darlington is known for eating a few drivers up and spitting them out. Maybe not as much as tracks like Dover or Bristol, but Darlington still one of those really tough tracks, and I mean that's why they call it too tough to tame. But Jim, man, it's been a heck of a season for you all year long, man. Great finishes, race in and race out. Did you think you were going to have yourself a podium by the end of this one?
Not really. At the beginning of the race, I felt really strong about it. I thought, okay, I'm running pretty good. I'm maintaining. And then the chaos happened getting on pit road on the first pit stop. And then I thought I'll just be lucky to come home with the top 5. But then I had a little luck on my side, and that last caution helped me out too a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that when that caution came out, a lot of the drivers' eyes kind of got a little bit wider. The chance at another spot or two was right there, and fortunately enough for you, you were able to capitalize on that restart and grab an extra spot. So congratulations with the 2nd place finish here tonight. Before we let you go, though, Jim, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank my girlfriend. She puts up with me doing this, and she's very wonderful. Let me do it, and give a shout out to my daughter. And I like to give 4X Racing Team. They're the ones week in and week out that are always positive and keep me going. GTR Simulators. If you're looking for a good simulator, GTR Simulators place to go. Serve Pro, Dynamax, Great House, KC Designs. If you're looking for a car to be painted, look up KC Designs. iHeartRadio, excellent radio station. Functional Fitness is awesome also. And I like to thank our military for everything that they do, so I have the opportunity to do this.
Absolutely, Jim. Well, those were some great shout-outs, and I'll agree with you on a lot of those shout-outs as well. So congratulations on a great regular season, getting yourself a chance to vie for the championship, and we'll look forward to catching up with you in 2 weeks when we hit the track once again.
Yes, sir. One more thing is, thanks again, Dave. You always do a great job broadcasting, and we greatly appreciate it.
Well, we do appreciate those kind words as well, Jim. And as I said, we'll look forward to catching up with you at Homestead. Maybe you can have the hot shoe down there and walk away with a race win.
That would be great. I'm going to do some practice, and we'll see what we can come up with.
All right, there you have it. Final words from the driver walking away in second here tonight. The 59 of Jim Thorndike gets the job done. A fine finish for him and that entire 59 crew, as we said, all year long, running strong, coming into tonight's race in the 5th position in points. He'll give himself a shot for that championship. But now we will move on to the man of the hour. Once again, dominating performance for your race winner, Joshua Kanata. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, this is a 2 for 2. In 2 weeks, you're gonna make it a three-peat.
I think this is the third, isn't it?
Is it the third? Let me look. I don't know. Are you lying to me here? Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, last week you got New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the books for you. Chi-Town as well. So yeah, look at that, three-peat already. So you're gonna go for the, I don't even know what they call 4 in a row, just 4 in a row.
I don't know either. I mean, where are we? I forget where are we even at. I'm not gonna lie to you. Where are we even going?
Homestead. We open up the chase in Homestead.
That's a different track, isn't it? I've been liking these flat corners the last couple of weeks. I guess I don't know how that's. I mean, it's a bumpy place, man. I mean, I'm gonna give it all I got. I mean, I'm hoping for another performance like tonight, but completely different track. A lot of guys I know. Brickyard is probably one of the harder tracks that there are. It's very unique. So when we go back to higher bank surfaces, I'm gonna be curious to see what kind of car I got.
Well, Joshua, you came in late on the tail end of the season. You know, multiple race wins as soon as you step foot back in. Looking forward through the rest of the year, obviously you're going to go out there and try to win each race, but are you trying to set yourself up to kind of put yourself on a pedestal, so to speak, to make the rest of the field know and notice that when that 16 shows up, you better be on your A game?
I mean, I think that's the goal whenever anyone comes into a race, isn't it?
I mean,
I'm definitely trying. I'm not trying to like show anyone up or anything. So, you know, it's a great group of guys. It's just, I mean, we've had the 2 flat tracks in Chicago, which is a place I have been good at every time I race there usually. So, it's only a matter of time before the stretch runs out. It's been a weird couple of tracks, but I'm definitely looking to just keep this going into next season for sure. You know, when I can actually be in the chase.
Well, Josh, you had a dominating car there. Before that caution flew, we had been clean and green the entire race. You had about a half a track over second place. When you unloaded the car here and jumped in, did it feel that good? Did you almost know that this was yours to lose?
I mean, within the first few laps of practice, I knew I had something quick, at least in the short term. I didn't know how it'd be. I know John McMillan Jr. before that speeding penalty, he was catching me on the long runs for sure. But then pit road police got him, and that sort of wiped that out. But I knew I had a pretty fast car pretty much as soon as I got on track. I didn't think it'd be this fast, but I'm very thankful for that.
The fuel strategy here, pretty easy to cut it down, cut and dry here, about 20 laps on each of the fuel runs. Did a tire strategy ever cross your mind, or how was the tire wear out there? Do you think anybody would have maybe been able to gamble and take 2 tires here or there and try to close up a little distance on you?
I mean, the right side drop off was terrible. I'm not really sure. The left sides didn't actually seem to wear as bad. So maybe 2 tires would have helped if it was like, you know, maybe if you're splitting a 30 in half, a 30 lap stint in half. I think it would have been worth a shot, but I'm not sure how well it would have worked. This place eats up tires, and you need every bit, and the drop off was just bad.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to start the chase at another track where the drop off is pretty bad, down there at Homestead Miami Speedway. So we'll see how you go down there. But first and foremost, congratulations on yet another race win. This makes it 4 in a row for you.
3.
Man, I keep giving you 1 or not enough. A lot of race wins. How about that? We'll just leave it there. A lot of race wins already. Oh, Lord. The statistician is going to kill me. But anyways, heck of a run for you once again, man, walking away with that race win. Before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on that 16?
Well, thank you for thank you everyone here that puts this show together. I love watching them back. I love watching the other series that you guys do here. Great guys behind the scenes, great drivers, great. I feel like I said this before, but Swift Motorsports is definitely a lot of fun, and you guys here at Turn 3, definitely a very professional group. So thank you for everything you do, and thank everyone behind the scenes at Swift for everything they do. And looking forward to next week.
All right, my man. Well, we'll try to catch up with you at Homestead when things get fired back off in 2 weeks.
Alrighty. Have a good one.
All right, there you have it. Final words from your race winner here tonight, driver inside of that 16 machine, Joshua Kanata, taking away his 3rd win in a row, the three-peat completed. Will he be able to take home another race win when we hit the track in 2 weeks at Homestead Miami Speedway to fire things off for the chase in the run for the championship? We'll just have to wait and see how all that shakes out. Gonna have to wait to see how all these points play out. John McMillan Sr., he was fighting for a chance at a chase opportunity. He finished inside the top 5, so we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out, how the points are all given out and run down by the end of this thing. So with all that being said, it does indeed sound like the producers have hit those buttons in the background. You know what that means. It's time to run down tonight's unofficial race results for the Road Starts Here 200 in the Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacing Paints Arca Menards Series, walking away with his 3rd win, Joshua Kanata. The 59 of Jim Thorndike gonna finish right there in 2nd, and Jason Branch rounds out your podium for tonight's race. Todd McGregor gonna slot home in the 4th spot. There you can see John McMillan Sr. with a great run here tonight, brings that 75 machine up into the top 5. 6th place goes to John McMillan Jr., already locked up in the chase. Donald Bennett gonna walk away in the 7th spot. Marshall Scully with a good run, but will it be enough to put him in a chase contending spot? We'll have to wait and see. Larry Poling in the 69 gonna finish just inside the top 10 in the 9th position. And speaking of top 10, that 28 of Ron Schutte will walk away with that spot. Will it be enough to give him a chance for a championship chase? We'll have to wait and see how it all runs down. Ryan Douglas gonna finish in the 11th spot, while Shane Bliss walks away in 12th. The 6 of Ryan Branchew gonna finish 7 laps down after a late race incident brought us under caution for the one and only time of the night, and also put us under an official green-white checkered attempt. Branchew gonna finish in 13th. Chad Lancaster will round out the field here tonight. That 20 machine will slot home 20 laps down in the 14th position. Want to give a big shout out and hats off to the race control out there tonight, Gary Wells, as well as the Cuban Missile Rocket, Roy Fernandez, out there in race control, getting everybody sorted out when they needed to. Didn't really need them very much here tonight, but we have needed them all year long. So a big time thank you and shout out to everybody up there in the race control booth, keeping things smooth on the track. And well, not much left here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Road Starts Here 200 in the Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacing Paints Arca Menards Series. So with that being said, if you haven't already, race fans, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 Racing headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. When that being said, race fans, it's a new day, new year. Stay safe, stay loved, my friends. Until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.